You have no idea how happy I am to see you unharmed.
Unharmed? What are you doing here?
Sansa's gotten pretty good at playing the game. When she sees Littlefinger, though, it's not about politics. It's not about trying to manipulate him or anything. He betrayed her in the worst possible way. And so in her mind, everything that happened after that, he's to blame for it.
You freed me from the monsters who murdered my family. And you gave me to other monsters who murdered my family.
You want me to beg for my life? I will.
I think it goes through her mind how satisfying it would be to see Brienne just cut him in two right here. But she doesn't, and that she doesn't is an interesting quality of Sansa's, that she's started to look a couple moves ahead, and she's started to think, is it possible this person will be more useful to me alive than dead?
I didn't know the Tullys still had an army.
My uncle, the Blackfish, has reformed it and retaken River Run.
How'd you know that?
It's funny because even as she's trying to make a clean break with Littlefinger, Sansa is showing us the ways in which Littlefinger has shaped her way of looking at the world.
Ramsay received a raven before I escaped Winterfell.
I mean, the decision not to tell Jon about the meeting with Littlefinger, not to tell Jon how she knows about the Blackfish. If she really trusted Jon and she really was coming at this as a clean, pure Stark, she would tell the truth to her brother and the person to whom she has real allegiance at this point. But for whatever reason, she holds back on that. And I think that shows that Littlefinger still has some kind of a hold on Sansa.
I am Theon Greyjoy, last living son of Balon Greyjoy. And she is your rightful ruler.
It's probably unique in the history of the Iron Islands for a male heir to reject his own claim in favor of his sister. It's one thing to say, when it's just the two of them, I don't want to be king, you should be. It's quite another thing when they have the King's Moot and they're actually choosing a king. And that's, I think, when she first really begins to trust him again.
I'm Euron Greyjoy. I claim the Salt Throne.
Of course, the person who precipitated the King's Moot by throwing his own brother off a bridge did so with full understanding of what a King's Moot was. It's an election, and Euron Greyjoy was confident that he could step into that situation and triumph through force of personality and through violence if necessary.
There are certain symbols and patterns that recur throughout the show. The first time we saw that was in one of the very first scenes in the pilot, when Will, the ranger, sees the wildling body parts in an odd pattern displayed by the White Walkers. We see it again north of the wall with the dead horses displayed in a spiral pattern. And then you see it again here and learn where these patterns come from, that there are ancient symbols of the Children of the Forest used in their rituals, and the Children of the Forest created the White Walkers.
The Night King, who's sort of the embodiment of absolute evil. What you're watching is the creation of this absolute evil. So the absolute evil isn't absolute after all.
No one's innocent, really, in this world. And there's just something really beautifully right about the idea that the great nemesis of mankind were created to protect the children of the forest from mankind. The cave is a safe place. You know, it's like you're playing tag, and if your hand's on the wall, you're safe from whoever's it. And it is the Night King, and he can't access them as long as they're in there because of the magic that's protecting this cave. But Bran makes a mistake.
He saw me.
He's not the Three-Eyed Raven yet. He doesn't have control over these visions in the way that the Three-Eyed Raven does. But for the first time, someone actually sees him in the vision as the Night King, which is part of the tragic mistake here, is that if the Three-Eyed Raven had been with him, things would have ended much differently.
The time has come
The time for what?
for you to become me.
But am I ready?
No.
As soon as the Three-Eyed Raven realizes there is no more time, he's got to try to upload all this knowledge into Bran.
This is happening much, much more rapidly than he thought it was going to happen. And he doesn't really know what it all means. He doesn't know what to make of it all because it's happening under duress.
Hold the door! Hold the door!
We had this meeting with George Martin where we're trying to get as much information as possible out of him, and probably the most shocking revelation he had for us was when he told us the origin of Hodor, how that name came about. I just remember Dan and I looking at each other when he said that and just being like, holy shit.
Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door! Hold the door!
It was just one of the saddest and most affecting things. Even sitting in a hotel room and having somebody tell you that this was going to happen in the abstract in some way, and that Hold the Door was the origin of the name Hodor. We just thought that was a really, really heartbreaking idea.
Hodor! 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 Hodor!